I think not only in Asia, the major challenges today that we are facing basically to meet the significant rise in demand of electricity. While we're trying to do so, that's on one end. On the other end, we are facing this depleting of resources to fire up our power plants. So meaning that while the demand keep increasing from time to time, the resources for us to get this power is also being depleted. The resources, gas, coal, and so on and so forth. Even hydro, for that matter. We used to have big chunk of hydro power plants, but today looking for hydros is a big challenge. You know, just to have a few megawatts of power driving from the hydro power plants. Of course, we have to keep looking for resources of power, and that resources of power should not just be limited to the conventional way of outsourcing the power. Conventional way, it means that we are utilizing the fossil fuel, hydros, and so on and so forth. So probably, people must be looking into the renewable energy, and one controversial things to look at is basically the nuclear power. But definitely that raised a lot of controversies among not only among the utility people and the public and so on. Definitely this is a big issue even for the government. If you look at the Asian countries, they are exactly at different stages, so you have to address these different countries which embark on different stages. For example, if you look into countries like Japan, Korea, Singapore, they're completely different, if you compare to countries like Laos, Myanmar, and even the countries like Malaysia in the middle, because countries like those who are back 30, 40 years, definitely their main thing today is to electrify the people. If you look at India, for example, I think almost 30–40% of the people in India still without power. So the first agenda for any government is to make sure that people will have power. And then comes the issue of reliability. When you talk about reliability, this is where probably part of the smart grid is being interfaced with that kind of initiatives. The first challenge, of course, we are at different stages. The second challenge, definitely, we are still looking into the infrastructure, the technology, the readiness in terms of the technology. Because even advanced countries like Korea, even US and so on and so forth, when you talk about smart grids, they are looking into certain business model, and some even embark on test bed. Singapore has got their test bed, whether to proceed or not to proceed with this smart grid and so on and so forth. So, but I think if we look at the ASEAN countries, we are still at a very basic. Quite a number of the countries are still very basic, and government is still trying to electrify the whole country, and electricity is still at the rate or the tariff which is still affordable. I think to lure the public to join the wagon of the smart grid, in terms of, if you look at the customer, the demand side management, to pull the customer, because smart grid will not work, without the participation of the customer. We have been doing very well as far as the utility is concerned, government is concerned. But to lure the government, to lure the customers into the wagon of the smart grid, they have got to be also incentivized, meaning that if the current electricity tariff does not hit their pocket, probably it is not yet for them. The question is always, what is it for me? So these are some of the issues that are being faced by. But of course, to have this smart grid and things like that, you have got to have this regulatory framework, regulatory for every country. And there is no one country so far that people can really say and emulate the framework that such country has, due to their different in terms of technology advance, in terms of readiness of the people and so on. I think definitely As I said, today probably some of the Asian countries, that still has got abundance of energy resources, hydros and things like that. In trying to put their priority to get people having electricity, probably this is not yet, but the growth is there. The growth is there because at the end of the day, people will have scarcity of resources. People, even the customer, demands for better and better power quality. The outages, when you talk about smart grid, you even talk about the outages. People do not want outages. People do not want power quality issues and things like that. So smart grid somehow or other has to come at different, in different sectors. Not just about having the advanced metering infrastructure, but also to get the transmission network, the grid national, the distribution network. But at the same time, we are introducing, when we're introducing all the REs, renewable energy. This renewable energy has got to be also co-add into the existing network, the grid network. So in doing that, you have got no other choice, but probably the choice is through this smart grid. I've seen in advanced country, we have looked at advanced country. We have not seen the so-called the reality yet. But definitely, if you embark on smart grid, you can address into different sectors. You have got that high load profile. During the time, the demand is so high. Certain hours, certain peak of the time. So by having this smart grid, probably you can taper off. You can taper off the load profile to make sure that you don't have to really invest more power plants in the system. And similarly, as I said just now, that on the demand side, currently what we have is customers, they just, whenever they are hungry for power, they just demand for power. But today, or in the future, we would like to see customers, participating to make sure that the power that we have within a utility company is sufficient for everybody. And that will have to come from the customers to participate when exactly at certain time that they have got to, they can take the supply, and certain time they should just shut it off and go to bed. Very interesting. I think this is magnificent because you have got everybody is here. You have got utility people, power producers, you've got the technology innovators, you have got all stakeholders pertaining to the topic that we are looking at. And this I think has somehow or other been so attractive to people. A lot of people wants to join this so-called seminar that you are having today. So congratulations to the organizers for being able to pool the right people to this forum. Not many forums that first you got to pull the people. Second, you got to put the right people to the forum. And I mingle around. I find that people around that participate in this forum has been from year to year are the relevant people to the industry.